Okay, let's jump into our deep dive today. We're looking at Job, chapter 20 specifically.
Right. And the voice we're hearing here is Zophar the Naamathite. And you can tell straight away he sounds, well, deeply troubled. Seems like he feels he's been insulted or rebuked somehow.
Yeah, you definitely get that sense. And his reaction is pretty strong, isn't it? He comes right out with what he sees as this ancient fundamental truth.
Absolutely. He basically declares that any happiness or, mirth the wicked might feel is incredibly brief, like gone in a moment.
Just a moment,
Okay.
seriously.
Yeah.
Even if they look super successful,
Yeah.
even if their pride, as he puts it, reaches to the heavens.
Exactly that. Zophar paints this vivid image. They might rise high, touch the clouds even, but their fall. It's total and permanent.
Permanent how?
Well, he says something quite graphic. He will perish forever like his own dung, and they just vanish, completely gone like a bad dream or, a night vision you can't recall. The eye that saw them won't see them again.
Wow. So all that effort, that status,
Yeah.
just evaporates. Gone.
Totally gone. And it's not just them disappearing. Zophar insists everything they gained is lost too, or even reverse.
Reversed? How so?
He says their kids will have to make amends to the poor and the person themselves. They have to give back his wealth. Even their own physical strength, that youthful vigor, ends up lying with him in the dust. It's a complete turnaround.
Complete reversal. Right down to the bone, almost.
Yeah.
And you mentioned how they got this wealth.
Mm.
There's that striking part about how they initially enjoyed it, right?
Oh, yeah. This is where the imagery gets really intense. He says evil was sweet in his mouth, something they sort of savor, hide under their tongue.
But it doesn't stay sweet.
Not at all. That's the twist. He warns that the very food they ate, the gain they coveted, it will turn sour in his stomach. It becomes the venom of serpents within him.
Venom. That's visceral.
It is. He says they're forced to expel it. They have to spit out the riches he swallowed because God himself makes their stomach vomit them up. It's like they end up sucking the poison of serpents and, well, it kills them.
Goodness. So the thing they chased after becomes the source of their destruction? They don't even get the simple pleasures, like those rivers of honey and cream he mentions.
Nope. What he toiled for, he must give back uneaten. All the profit from his bad actions, like oppressing the poor, stealing houses, none of it brings any actual joy. Zophar is clear. There are direct, awful consequences for that kind of behavior.
So with all that stuff they piled up, is there any security? Any escape route?
According to Zophar, absolutely none. He's adamant, no respite from his craving, and he cannot save himself by his treasure. His prosperity just will not endure.
It sounds incredibly fragile.
Totally. In fact, right when he thinks he has everything, distress will suddenly overtake him. The full force of misery just hits him.
There's just nowhere to hide then.
That's the picture, yeah. If he tries to run from one weapon, say an iron one, a bronze arrow gets him instead. And that detail about pulling the arrow out, the point coming from his liver, it just drives home the agony and the inevitability of it all.
It's a vision of total collapse. Almost sounds like the whole universe turns on him.
That's exactly the scale Zophar is using. Terrors overwhelm him, total darkness waits for his treasures, a fire that wasn't even man-made consumes him and everything he has. He even says, the heavens will expose his guilt, the earth will rise up against him, a flood carries his house away. It's destruction coming from, well, everywhere.
So, pulling back a bit, Zophar is giving us this really intense, absolute picture of divine consequence, right? The wicked might seem to win for a bit, but it's like poison leading inevitably to complete ruin. He frames it as just how divine justice works. Swiftly, visibly.
Yeah, exactly. And he wraps it up by stating very clearly this is the fate God allots the wicked, the heritage appointed for them by God. No ambiguity there.
Right. So something for you, our listener, to Kaiwan. Given Zophar's powerful description here, this idea of certain unavoidable divine consequences for wickedness in this text, what might that challenge you to consider about your own ideas of justice or maybe even the nature of prosperity itself?